Okay, so next part on a discussion about e-collars. The last video I put up, I invited e-collar trainers to tell me in terms of, or tell us in terms of operant and classical conditioning, how an e-collar is changing your dog's behaviour, okay? And bar one trainer who uses the e-collars, the silence was absolutely deafening, okay? So no engagement on that at all, despite multiple engagements in the previous 4 videos, okay? So that either tells me that it's not reinforcing enough for that trainer to engage on that on the page. That's the one thing. They don't know how to. They don't know how to explain it in terms of operant conditioning, or they don't want to explain in terms of operant conditioning. Okay, so those are the 3 things I think are going on with trainers now. I had a nice conversation with a trainer who took the time to phone me, and we had a chat about stuff. And this is what was interesting about it. What he was saying, and I've had this from another couple of trainers as well who use these collars to train their dogs, or to help train their dogs, or as part of their training, that they say that 1, that it's not aversive, and 2, it's just part of the cue, okay? So what they're saying is they will vibrate the collar, okay, until the dog turns and faces them, okay? When the dog starts moving back towards them and is moving back towards them, that's when they'll remove the vibration and then reinforce that with food, okay? So that sounds an awful lot like take the food away from it first, or take the food separately. That sounds an awful lot like a negative reinforcement contingency, okay? It's the removal of a stimulus to reinforce the behaviour of coming back, okay? So we went round the houses with this, and they were saying that it becomes a really salient cue to the dog, okay? It's something that this vibration on the collar, okay, or on the neck, is something that the dog really can easily understand and pick out from the environment. That's relevant, yep, absolutely, okay? But your dog can learn how to listen to a whistle. Now, my challenge for trainers who use it in these terms is, for your next dog, don't use the vibration, just use the tone, okay? So if the vibration is just a cue, okay, and it's just a salient cue that the dog can pick out from the environment, a tone, an electronic tone, okay, electronic pitch, an electronically produced sound right next to the dog's ear is as salient as it gets, okay? So what I would suggest, or my challenge to you, is try that with the next dog that you do, okay, and see if there's any difference in the previous dog. Now I know that's a study of one, and every dog is different in how they respond to stuff, okay? The weather's just started, this is lovely, okay? So what we've got there is now relevance to the dog, this salient vibration or salient tone, okay, that the dog can pick out from the environment, okay? Now what's also been interesting about it, I asked the 3 trainers who train like this, using this layered strategy, okay, as how they described it, it's layered, is I said to them, what happens if the dog doesn't respond to the vibration? What's your next move? And the 3 of them all said, well, stimulate, okay, apply electricity, and the next setting, which is the short burst, and it's not even a burst, it's just a one, okay, it's a short nick, okay, it's the application of electricity in that short way, okay. So what they're now doing is, that's now no longer a cue, that's now a consequence for doing an unwanted behaviour or not doing a wanted behaviour, okay, and we're now starting to get more into positive punishment and negative reinforcement if that wasn't what was going on in the first place, okay. So that's stuff that's really important for us to consider if you're going to use an e-collar, okay, is knowing how it works. Yeah, so these are things to consider, okay, and I would ask you to think about that. Now, the guy who phoned me also put me onto another e-collar trainer, and I've watched some of this trainer's videos, and this is a quote: "We're using the vibration to push the dog onto the platform," okay? That doesn't sound positive to me, that doesn't sound non-aversive, okay? We're using some sort of application of force there. And when the dog goes onto the platform, we now remove that stimulus, okay? And that sounds an awful lot like some sort of pressure, okay? And the use of pressure releases negative reinforcement by any definition, okay? If you disagree with me, challenge me on it, okay? But if you're using a pressure and a pressure release system, that's negative reinforcement. And from this trainer, who is hailed as being a good e-collar trainer, who doesn't use it the same way as these other trainers do that we see on YouTube, I don't see an awful lot of difference other than the stimulus the dog is looking to avoid is a vibration rather than the application of electricity, okay? So these are just other thoughts to talk about or to consider. Let me know what you think, okay? As always, positive engagement about this, non-emotional stuff, follow the rules, okay? And we can have a chat about it, and thanks for watching.